I want to talk to you about your new album, 𝙎𝙐𝙆𝙀. And the first question I got to ask you, because I know a lot of people have been, wondering this same question as me, and you probably answered this at some point in the content rollout, but just so we can have it in a nice, concise answer, what do you mean by 𝙎𝙐𝙆𝙀?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I hate to be like one of these cool artists where it's like I'm trying to be like I have like, but it was really super intentional, the kind of layers I was trying to paint with it. It's kind of like a double-edged sword where I'm saying saints do sell white, I'm saying, like the literal white, pertaining to righteousness, etc. And saints, imagine it with like a dollar sign, I'm saying, actually sell white too. So it's kind of like going through those layers of saying, the saints are imperfect, yet we're here to sell righteousness, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like flipping that, dominant cultural narrative of, I sell white, I sell this, I got coke in my truck, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like reclaiming that power to be like, because like typically what I see is this kind of reticence, I believe that's the word, where like the saints kind of like shy away from being like, forward, and my whole thing is like, not to be at the risk of being cliche, like we got to be able to put ourselves out there and be like, nah, like we got this, and not just false confidence, not just some false confidence that's based off of nothing. Like I'm just saying, like if you're there to want to, inspire people and let God use you, and you're simultaneously confident in the work you do, then God is calling us to be, those figures that are out there, like superhero figures. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't just let these dudes be the gods of culture, and the saints shy away. So it's calling the saints back to that, and I feel like it drips a lot throughout the album.
First off, I love the title. Man, that's one of the dopest titles of the year. Like whether it's in the Christian space or in hip hop, like Saints Sell White too is fire. So I really do rock with it. So you talked a little bit about this already, but maybe I'll give you an opportunity to kind of expand some more. But what do you feel like also contributed to your motivation for this? Because this isn't like your first album. Like I went back and checked, so I tried to do a little research. Man, it's like your 7th album. Sheesh, man.
I actually have more than that, by the way, because like
the 7th album on DSPs, at least that I can find. I know you got EPs and stuff, but like official, what Spotify categorized as an album, I saw 7, and I'm like, sheesh. Don't let nobody ever call you a freshman, bro.
a couple of them are, off the face of the earth. So, but sorry, what was the question again?
Oh man, what was the question? I just distracted myself.
Yeah.
I was saying, what was your motivation for this? Or like, you talked a little bit about that already, but kind of like, what were some of the motivations that led to you making this project in particular?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, right? So like the work ethic earlier on, it came from a place we had these discussions often of wanting to prove myself. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's a two-sided thing, because on one hand, it is healthy as an artist to have that and to want to grow.
Yeah, definitely.
But then, like it gets blurred, because then you're kind of like stuck in this rat race of chasing something that the Lord doesn't necessarily want for you, And again, at the risk of sounding cliche, like that end goal is not what it's supposed to be. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's the process in being molded and shaped into becoming who the Lord wants us to become. And yeah, man, like earlier on, like that was part of the motivation, but I also feel like this is the powerful thing about God, man, like where you could be wrong in your perspective, but he still could be using you like at the moment. So earlier on, coming into this album, my thing was, if I'm gonna leave the face of this earth, right? Like I need to have this album where it's like people's like, this guy's the greatest type of thing, you know what I'm saying? So the Lord slowed me down, you know, because I took my time. This was a process of like 2 years of making this album, from the idea to the execution, you know what I'm saying? I actually had it during the Leap of Faith 2 season, you know what I'm saying? But like I kind of, you know, sat on it, it was just like, whatever. So like, you know, just coming off of that, like the Lord just brought me to a place to be like, you have to understand the reason why you're doing this. You know what I'm saying? And part of the ways that I see that the Lord speaks mostly in my life is, you know, just like life in general, checking my track history, where I came from, and, you know, just in the moment, the experiences, you know what I'm saying? Not to say like I kind of like taking an experience-based gospel, whatever the case may be, but like it's just more so I kind of like peep the things that have happened before naturally, you know what I'm saying, and what's happening in the moment. And, you know, I just felt the Lord slowing me down and calling me to a place of maturing as a man, as a believer, and understanding like what the real goal here is, you know? And, you know, that's why like when you see the album, like everything being, you know, chronologically ordered until like Sweet Victory, like that's the perfect ending, because that's exactly how like the Lord brought me through that whole journey. So it's like coming back to a place of rest and understanding that you're impacting people, not because you're necessarily trying to be the greatest or anything, you know, but because I'm using you, you know. Scripture says it that like he's the vine and we're the branches, you know what I'm saying? We can do nothing without him. We can do absolutely nothing without Jesus. So yeah, man, like that's just my challenge to every creative out there, especially in our Christian circle, you know. Like sometimes we could kind of be this people that are trying to be super artistic, which is cool. Like my whole thing is like it's an easy marriage between both. Like if you look at the Renaissance, like church history, like through the Catholic Church, through, you know what I'm saying, Presbyterians, like the Baptist Church, like science has always, you know what I'm saying, culture, art, like these things are naturally interconnected, you know. So like for me, like let's have these frameworks and these things we're trying to do, but have that underpinning, that foundation and understanding that at the end of the day, you know, this is all about preaching Christ resurrected.
Man, that's fire, bro. I love that, for real. And it kind of makes a lot of sense too, you know. I joke around and I've said, you know, I was talking with Mike about this, but I was like, man, he got a really good project. But like 20 songs though? I was like, when I saw that it was 20 songs, I was like blown away. I was like, man, first things, and you talked about consistency and like work ethic. Like it takes a lot of work to make 20 songs, or to pull together 20 songs that are like quality raps that you would put on a project. So when I saw that it was 20 songs, I'm like, man, this dude be rapping. Like I think the consensus that we all had in the group chat that we in was like, bro, he be rapping. Like this dude he can rap for days. What do you feel like you bring to the space of hip hop as an artist, as a thought leader?
The gospel.
There we go.
The gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop, you know, I think for a long time, like especially in Christianity, like we kind of went through that early phase of the church kind of like demonizing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? At least the cultural expressions of hip hop, and sometimes like with good reason too. With good reason, because we're not gonna act like hip hop is, you know what I'm saying, is like some holy. Sometimes like we risk sounding like that, but yeah, I think the gospel can exist in these spaces without us compromising. You know what I'm saying? Like if I believe that if we focus on being supremely skilled at what we do, these people are going to come to us.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's really like, I've used this analogy before. Like, it's like having the loudest party next door. You know what I'm saying? And like even if you're passing by, you're going to be like, shoot, like what's going on over there? You know what I'm saying? Like what's happening there? Like that look is just that little second where like they turn to look like, what's that? That's where the gospel comes into effect. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's why I'm not throwing shade at anybody, like to some of these preachers out there too, you know what I'm saying, that feel the need to have to dumb down the truth of the gospel to look a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Not shooting in anybody, I promise you. Okay, let's just.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay, man. Shoot if you need to.
I love Mike Todd. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure there's people in his circles and other people in the vein of Mike Todd that have like accountability partners, I would hope, you know, that kind of say these things. But like, we don't have to, you know what I'm saying, dumb down the truth of the gospel or portray ourselves to be a certain way to, you know, do this. So I just feel like if we build up ourselves from a skill level personally and enhance self-growth, then naturally these people are going to look to us, look at us, and, you know what I'm saying, the rest is history for the Holy Spirit.
Glocks loaded at the opponent, I'ma reach. Stop sowing to get a bonus, that's a reach. I was born to meet the moment, so what? Feast, no lie, feast, you know what? Feast, Glocks loaded.